is a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. It's racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. So it was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did, whether it's racially targeted or not. These things actually mutate. So now you've got a situation where there's been a limited nuclear war in the Middle East. There's a pandemic that really is sweeping across the world and really is killing people very visibly. And you've got this totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western world because everyone's going to be in panic about all of this. And then, he said, then the real war starts. Something that would be justifiably called the Third World War with a much more major nuclear exchange. And at this point, I asked him, is this just about population reduction? What is this about? Why are they doing this? Why this insane Dr. Strangelove plan for just unleashing all of this stuff on the world? Why do it? Now, as our conversation went on, I started to find answers to those questions. Now, some of this is speculation. I want to share this speculation with you because it's important enough that we work together here to figure out what's going on. And there are some clues, there's some very important clues that I'm going to present to you here in this video. He said, absolutely, it's about population reduction. So I said, well, in this meeting, did they mention any figures? And he said, yes, they did, 50%. Half the world's population. This is planned as per the Georgia Guidestones. For those of you who don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, it's a stone monument in Georgia in America.
The Chinese people do not know what is happening, and therefore, actually it's the regime that is allowing this virus to spread around.
What they taught was that you need to understand the three fundamental motions of the solar system. The first motion is, if you have the sun there, the Earth orbits around the sun in an anti-clockwise motion, and it also rotates in an anti-clockwise motion. So that's the day, the rotation every 24 hours, and the orbit is the year. So that's the first fundamental motion, that's the second fundamental motion, and the third one is the great year of 24,000 years. Now you may have seen that the figure is 25,920. Well, that's the same year, okay? The reason for this figure is because, according to Walter Cruttenden, as our sun orbits around a far distant star called Sirius, that's not a very good, but they're supposed to be perfectly oval like that. It takes 24,000 years for them to go around each other. Now, as they get closer to each other, they speed up. So precession is variable, okay? It's not a fixed figure. You will see that the Hindus insist that it's 24,000 years. But in Egypt, they have this figure, and they're both correct. So, but the point is, and I want to get off this and get straight into what the holy science really is, because I really stress that those three cycles are the cycles that the holy science is based on, because these are the motions of our sun in relation to the earth. Now, is we all pretty familiar with precession? Yes? No? Okay. So most of the monuments, the megalithic monuments around the world, were designed to align to certain points of precession, because it was very, very important to monitor where we are in the stream of time. For instance, we know that we've been in the age of Pisces for 2,000 years, and now there's a changeover to the age of Aquarius coming. Well, that's because as we go around, as Sri Yukteswar said in the book, as we go around Sirius, we actually go, this is the dark ages, because we are so far away from our sister sun. But as we head toward Sirius, we go to the silver age, the bronze age, then the silver age, and as we are, when our sun gets to this point here and Sirius is at that point there, we will be close to each other, and this is the golden age. And the Egyptians and the Hindus agree that this is the age that lasts the longest. And now we are heading back to that time. And what 2012 is all about is simply the fact that we are going through the equinoctial crossing of this particular cycle. And this is how it works. Our Milky Way galaxy is a spiral galaxy. We know that, but we don't see it like that. We see it like a river in the sky. And scientists say that it's about 2 meters long if you have it as a millimeter thick. That's how thin it is. And it's spiraling every 220 million years around. And that fast that it's just, the stars are in a very, very thin river. When we look up, we see it like the Milky Way. And it's not so thin, but it is. And what happens in this particular orbit is that our sun takes us in the to the northern hemisphere of the Milky Way galaxy, and then to the southern hemisphere, and then back again. And it's from here to here is 24,000 years. That's the cycle of precession. And it's 12,000 years in the northern hemisphere and 12,000 years in the southern hemisphere. Yang, yin, positive, negative, electric, magnetic. We are right here. And we have been crossing, if that were the Milky Way equator, we have been crossing that for the last, I think, 15 years. What's 2012 is that our sun will be perfectly there, and then it will be more north than south after the 21st of December 2012. So the question is, why aren't our governments preparing the biggest party celebration in history? Because this is beautiful. We're coming to the end of the age.